December 15, 2016, and Gina is pleased to bring you today's edition of the Government News Brief. In the news, education facilities will be boosted in Region 1. National Assembly unanimously approves $9 billion for the Guyana Sugar Corporation, and the 25 hinterland community hubs will be powered with solar panels in 2017. Stay tuned as we bring you the details of these and other stories. Thank you for staying with us. I am Ranetta Fleur. Here are the details. Education facilities will be boosted in Region 1 thanks to increased allocation under the Ministry of Communities. Paul McAdam has the details.
Minister of Communities Ronald Bulkan last evening revealed that millions of dollars will be spent on schools and other facilities in the Barimi-Winey area via the 2017 budget. Minister Bulkan spoke during day 2 of the budget estimates.
Construction of a secondary school at Baramuri, approximately $4.5 million. Nursery school at Baramita, $17 million. Teachers' quarters at Morawana, $10 million. A similar activity at Baramita for identical sum. Identical activity as well as sum in Matakai.
How much?
Matthews Ridge, teachers' quarters. Extension of Baramita Primary, $10.8 million. Enclosure of the teachers' building at Maruka, $8 million. An enclosure at Squibana building for a similar sum of $8 million.
The Minister of Communities says that more will be spent under the Education Ministry's allocation for the region. This includes the hot meal program, which has been expanded to ensure that more children attend school and have a nutritious meal during the day. Under the Ministry of Communities, some $1.29 billion will be spent on regional education in Region 1, Barima-Winey. A total of $43.1 billion has been allocated under the Ministry of Education for the sector in Budget 2017. Paul McAdam, Government News Brief.
The National Assembly has unanimously approved the $9 billion allocation for the Guyana Sugar Corporation, Gaisuku. Delicia Haynes tells us more.
The state-owned company's financial allocation was brought before the Parliamentary Committee of Supply for approval. The subsidy that was set aside was approved without question from the opposition.
The status quo of the sugar industry can neither be sustained nor maintained. As currently structured, the industry will require government support to the tune of $18.6 billion and $21.4 billion for the years 2017 and 2018 respectively. Meanwhile, for 2017, the government has made an allocation of $9 billion to support the financing of Gaisuku's operations. This brings to $32 billion the amount of resources that have been provided to this corporation since government acceded to office in May 2015.
Minister Jordan points out that radical reorganization of the sugar industry is urgently needed, as postponed decisions on the industry's future would incur an estimated $80 billion in debt. This, Minister Jordan says, would be considered money wasted, as it will not have a positive impact on the industry's financial status. Agriculture Minister Noel explains that the economy cannot afford to subsidize Gaisuku's operation as it is in its current state.
Opportunities existed in the past to reorganize and modernize the industry, but these were not pursued. Reference is made here to better sugar prices, funding from the European Union, accompanying measures following the reform of the European Union price regime, access to appropriate levels of skills and experience, etc. Government is deeply concerned about the future well-being of sugar workers and their families. Government is also deeply concerned about the state of the other sectors of the economy and the critical need for investment in these sectors. It would be irresponsible of this government to not sensibly address these challenges in a sustainable manner.
The government has appointed a cabinet subcommittee to recommend the way forward for the industry after taking into consideration recommendations made by a commission of inquiry into Gaisuku. The appointed committee is expected to report on diversification of the industry and consider recommendations emanating from the corporation itself. These recommendations will be presented to Cabinet for due consideration prior to the end of this year. For the Government News Brief, I am Delicia Haynes.
25 hinterland community hubs will be powered with solar panels in 2017 as part of government's thrust to build a green economy. Here are the details. Minister of Public Infrastructure David Patterson, during the examination of the 2017 estimates and expenditure, says the program will be completed through collaboration with the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB.
25 solar panel systems, sir. This is a complement to the IDB program, which will actually be buying the photovoltaic system. This year is for the wiring and installation of the systems under that program. So the cost of that program, the 46 million, is for the wiring and distribution of that system.
The minister, in response to questions by the opposition members, points out that to date 19,600 solar panels were distributed and installed to over 186 hinterland communities. According to Minister of Finance Winston Jordan, government is committed to improving the lives of hinterland residents, especially by providing access to electricity.
Bringing a good life to all Guyanese must translate into reduced cost of living in hinterland communities, an expanded range of health services, improved quality of education, food security, cultural preservation, job creation, reliable and renewable energy, and adequate infrastructure for physical and virtual connectivity. To this end, the government has allocated $13 billion for interventions that will improve the livelihoods of hinterland communities.
Minister Jordan says in 2017, emphasis will be placed on building a diversified green economy which has no VAT attached. He adds that the hinterland communities will not be left out from this intervention. The Small Business Bureau will be expanding its operations to the benefit of all hinterland regions. Here is that report.
This was told to Tushao in the North Rupununi as they were being briefed on the opportunities available by the Small Business Bureau at a recently held North Rupununi District Development Board meeting. Training and Development Officer Aubrey Gomes says that the Bureau has recently increased the number of grants available. The aim of the Bureau, Gomes says, is to ensure opportunities are given to everyone countrywide.
Initially, we had 300 grants to give out to the entire Guyana. Now, we have just increased that amount to 500 grants to give out to the entire Guyana. No grant has been given to Region 1, 7, 8, or 9. And the drive of this current government is to make all the regions equal in terms of having all of them access our grants.
Apart from the grants, Gomes pointed out that loans are also available to interested persons. The loans are given by Republic Bank and the Guyana Bank for Trade and Industry with help from the Bureau. Loans are available up to $30 million at a maximum interest rate of 6% per annum.
We help small businesses to do a lot of things, for a number of years we've been doing this, and we're hoping, and I see the drive of the government at this time, is to develop entrepreneurship. And our department, Small Business Bureau, we're there to help develop the entrepreneurship drive amongst the small businesses, because most times people come in and they're just doing business. We want them to move from just doing business to making a profit, to growing their business, growing employment.
Additionally, Gomes says that the Bureau will be offering training to persons interested in starting or enhancing an existing business. Isaiah Braffett for the Government News Brief.
A government unit to complete renovation of the National Data Management Authority by the end of January. Staff are to be trained after.
The E-Government Agency Center of Excellence in Information Technology, CEIT, is expected to be officially opened in February. The collaborative initiative between the Indian government and E-Government Agency will see initial training of staff for the CEIT. Project Manager Malcolm Williams says.
Initially, the Indian government, they promised to train up to 20 trainers. So they will bring their trainers from India to prepare the set of trainers who will be trained, who will then become the permanent staff for the CEIT.
The CEIT will offer advanced courses in ICT training to interested persons beginning mid-2017, Williams points out. Housed in the former National Data Management Authority NDMA building on the University of Guyana Turkine campus, CEIT will be managed by the government agency. Today, representatives from the High Commission of India, the Ministries of Foreign Affairs, Finance, Public Telecommunications, and board members of the NDMA visited the CEIT site to observe progress of renovations. Williams says it was determined that the building be housed on the university's campus.
When we visited the NDMA, it was not equipped to facilitate the classroom sizes, the number of classrooms and the facilities that the Indian government had asked that we provided.
Completion of the renovations hit setbacks that prevented the government agency meeting its December deadline. Works on the building are expected to be completed by January 15, 2017. For the Government News Brief, I'm Tiffny Rogers.
Over 100 beneficiaries of the Women of Worth WOW program benefit from information session on business sector. Zanil Williams reports.
The first ever information session for Women of Worth program was held today at the Ministry of Social Protection. Voicing their concerns, WOW beneficiaries spoke about challenges with representatives from the Guyana Marketing Corporation, GMC, the Ministry, WOW, and the Guyana Bank for Trade and Industry, GBTI. The representatives shared information and answered questions.
We're hoping that this is the first time we've done something like this with our beneficiaries, and we're hoping to have sessions like this and even some training sessions for them. Small groups, maybe like 30 persons. So we have a range of plans for the new year, but of course that depends on finances.
The WOW program is in collaboration with GBTI and provides loans for single parents and grants for persons with an active business for a year. Speaking on the loan program, GBTI's representative, Tanya Griffith, explains.
A 6% loan that we offer. The minimum is $100,000, the maximum is $250,000, and we give it for a period of 2 years. It's equity free, meaning that you can come to the bank with whatever your project is. Once it's up to $250,000, we look at it. However, you have to go to the ministry, and then you come to the ministry with you to the bank.
The loan caters for several types of businesses, including catering, dressmaking, poultry rearing, and floral arrangements. Additionally, the grant program was introduced since many persons were unable to meet the criteria for the loan program. Yvonne Ferguson, due to her age, did not qualify for the loan. The grant has therefore enabled her to expand her beverage business. Insert.
This one-on-one discussion was very interesting for me because I shared my experience on my grant that I got. And for some persons, they thought that they were coming here to receive a grant or a loan back, but they were surprised. But it was a learning session, enlightening you how you could improve yourself, also enlightening you how you could improve your business more and get to the top.
The Ministry of Social Protection earlier this year injected $40 million into the WOW Microcredit Initiative. I am Zanil Williams for the Government News Brief.
We have come to the end of today's edition of the Government News Brief. The details of these and other stories can be found on Gina's website. Gina has an active Facebook page, and we encourage you to visit and like us so you can be informed as the news unfolds. Do join us again tomorrow when the Government Information Agency brings you another edition of the Government News Brief. I am Ranetta Fleur. Thank you for watching.